Hey guys, Matt here, DHB coach. As you can see, it's still no shave November, and my mustache is starting to come in. Pretty stoked about that. All right, guys. So here's what we're gonna do. We've got like a few more things we're gonna touch up on before this is over. So I'm gonna go over some basic personality stuff on this tape, and then the next week we're gonna focus on first through third dates, which is what I love coaching. So this is still setting the groundwork for it, like I've said. So what we're doing, if you follow this program and you're actually going out and you're making the friends you need to make and the connections and all this other stuff, and you're starting getting online dating, and you're taking these girls to these different places, you're building up this aura about yourself as the guy who knows everybody and who's always surrounded by, for online dating, what you can get relatively hot women, which is a good thing. That's exactly how you want to be. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about how to gauge a woman's interest in you. Um, so we're going to go over a couple of things. We're going to work on developing a sense of humor because everybody likes a funny person, and it's a really easy way to tell whether somebody's into you or not. If you start telling jokes that aren't really that funny and they're laughing hard, that's a dead giveaway for an IOI, indicator of interest. It's a PUA term, or an interest level, or whatever you want to call it. Basically, how much that other person is digging you. Also, we're going to go over some basic compliance tests, which is kind of the same thing. I focus more on the physical ones, so I'll go over some little tips and tricks later on. So that's what we're going to cover today. So first, humor. If you're not a funny guy, there's all kinds of ways to be. You can Google it, like how to be funny, and I'm sure you'll get some basic personality stuff. If you really want to get a lot better really fast and you live in a big-ish city, I'd highly recommend improv classes. It's the fastest way you're going to be able to improve, and you're going to be able to think on your feet a lot faster, and you still expand your social network, as we talked about earlier. So it's kind of a win-win-win, if you will. Uh, One of the things I do if I have a client who has an extremely dry personality and just doesn't necessarily get how to be funny, I'll have him literally just memorize some stupid, clean jokes. So you can go on the internet. I mean, you can find them anywhere. You can open a Laffy Taffy and just memorize some of them because they're dumb and they're silly and they're just this sort of like a kind of a fun thing you can do. So you can start and come up with whatever you want as long as you want it or whatever. Just have a couple of jokes that you're not gonna walk up and be like knock knock. I mean, you could. I mean, that's fine, I guess. Um, but you're going to be able to infuse a little bit of humor because you're going to have down times, right? And you're not necessarily going to do this on the initial pickup, but on your dates and stuff, you're going to have a little bit of time where the conversation's not flowing, and you're kind of wondering what to say, and she's kind of wondering what to say, and it's this awkward silence, and you can fill that with just some dumb, stupid jokes. It's a really easy thing to do. It takes like 10 minutes of memorization for 5 or 6 jokes, and then you can get them laughing. And once people are laughing, like I don't know if you've noticed, but if you've ever gone to like a live taping of like a night show, like a David Letterman or something, or if you've ever been to a comedy show, there's multiple acts, and the main guy always comes out after the crowd's already warmed up, right? So that concept of warming somebody up for laughter, getting them in state for laughter. If you tell these stupid little jokes and they're already in a state of having fun, it's just gonna ramp it up. Try it out. Let me know how it goes. I promise you it works. It sounds stupid, but these stupid little jokes are pretty cute. They're pretty cool, and they're pretty cool to use. So what we're going to go over next is compliance tests. Now, what a compliance test is basically a way to gauge somebody's interest level in you without like asking them like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like me right now? Because that'd be weird. So there's a couple things you can do real quick. One of the things I taught you earlier was that when you meet somebody, you always shake their hand to establish the physical touch, and you kind of build that emotional connection instantly. If you go back to the emotional connection when we talked about that. Now, what I'm going to teach you here is whenever you meet a woman that you're interested in or potentially interested in, when you shake her hand, I want you to hold it a little bit longer than normal. Okay? So, you shake her hand, boom, 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 get to her, boom. And then don't don't lean in. We already talked about that. Don't ever lean in. But don't square up, don't stare at her, but hold her hand and then kind of talk off to somebody else or try and do something else. But keep your physical contact there on the hand and see how long she holds it. If she's comfortable with it for a while, she's probably into you because she's not going to do that with anybody. And then when she starts to pull away, all you're going to do is you're holding her hand right here, right? Whoop, there we go. Okay, on the camera. You're holding her hand right here. You're shaking hands. When she starts to pull away, just take your left hand and brush it off like that. And that's the way. It's kind of like a neg. That's what we talked about earlier about using negative body language. And it basically says that even though she knows she was the one pulling the handshake away, you just flipped it. Where all of a sudden you're like, now in the unwritten body language world, you're like, now you're making this weird. I'm pushing you away. So it's really easy. Practice it. Hold their hand for a second. As soon as you start to feel the pressure go, just brush it off. Boom. And it's good. Because like I said, it establishes how into you they are at that moment. Because this is like a wavering thing. So, it's kind of like when you can go for like a kiss, you can go for like a number close or anything like that. It's based off interest level. This is a quick, easy way to do it at the beginning. And like I said, when she pulls away and you push her hand away, like I said, you get her interest level, and then you also kind of flip the script in her mind a little bit. And if any of her friends see it, all of a sudden you just established your value even higher because you're pushing the pretty girl's hand away. And that's pretty cool. Not too many people do that. Another compliance test you can do is as you start moving forward with the physical touch like we talked about, and you get into like the friendly stages, you can put your hand on somebody's shoulder and let it just linger there for like 1 or 2 seconds longer than it feels natural. So you put it up there, say something, boom, 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 and just see if they move, see if they squirm. If they don't, because here's the thing, is if they move away, that's fine. You know where you stand, and that's still a huge advantage. You're still winning, right? It's not like you're being weird because it's not like you're just throwing your arm around her and like locking her in a headlock. You're just putting your hand on her shoulder, chilling. If she pulls away, that's fine. You pull your hand away. You can even kind of give her a little push or whatever. Not like a hard one. God, please don't do that. But you know what I'm saying, like a little gentle one. And if she's really into you and you put your hand up, she might lean into you, and now you're balling, man. Like now you're in, right? Okay. So basically, you can do that anywhere. If you're like past that level and you've like gotten the hands on the legs or whatever, or you're kind of holding hands or anything like that, the same thing applies. You can put your hand on their knee or something for a little bit longer than it feels comfortable and just see how they react. If they pull away, you know that you have some more work to do. If they like it, I mean, keep pushing forward, dude. You're doing awesome. So that's what we talked about today. We talked about some basic like compliance tests using humor to establish both like a laughing frame or state, and that's also a compliance test. Just like if they're laughing way too hard at your dumb jokes, that's a pretty good indicator. And also, like I said, the compliance test, the physical ones, which will take you a long way because at least you know what is going on. You know what I mean? Like even if you like completely weird the girl out and he's like, that guy touches me for too long, at least you know where you stand as opposed to before where so many guys are like, I don't know if she likes me, blah, blah, blah. Easy way to tell is compliance test. All right, guys, so we're going to do one more next week. We're going to do like a style/fashion thing. I'm going to keep it like as easy as possible, and it's going to be a pretty short one. And after that, we're going into dates, and that's my favorite. I love first dates. I love first through third dates. They are the best. They're the most fun to coach. They're the most fun to do. And once you get really good and comfortable at them, you're going to have a blast every single time you take a girl out. And she's going to have a blast too, and you're going to be known as like the coolest guy in town. So next Wednesday, new video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, comment, hit me up on Twitter if you have a question. When this module's over, when this program's over, I'm gonna be answering specific questions. I'll be looking on Reddit on some of the dating advice ones, a couple other like pickup artist forums for new guys, and some other stuff like that, and be answering your questions in video form. Just trying to get it out there. So, like I said, like me on Twitter, DHB Coach. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever. Until then, next Wednesday, see you then. Have a nice week. Have a nice weekend, and I'll catch you later.